If you are experiencing foundation issues, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Coach Adam Fossett Show brought to you by the B.B. Comer Booster Club on our Coach's Corner segment this morning. And Coach, it was a rainy night in Sylacauga, Alabama last Friday night.
It was. The rain came down. Most of the game time was clear, but man, pregame was a rainy mess, and then apparently halftime was a mess. So we got a little bit of rain during the game, but overall it was a dry surface for us.
Talk about some of the highlights this morning. Your special teams get on the board. We don't have this particular highlight, but here we go in the second quarter here, I think it is. And, Fayetteville had a good little football team, and they threw the ball pretty well. Yeah,
they did a good job throwing the ball well, and, here's a fake punt. And, I mentioned you have to be prepared for anything with Fayetteville. So Raphael Johnson had another good night for us.
Maybe the biggest run of the night there.
Yeah, that was probably our longest run of the night. Our guys up front are doing a great job, to be honest with you. Offensive line play has been something that it's kind of been an Achilles heel for us, and they've done a good job.
You fumbled the football right there.
Yeah, put the ball on the ground. It's one thing that we couldn't do. This connection, the Deloach to Deloach connections, they've got it figured out too. So they do a good job making that happen.
A lot of strange plays in this game.
Yeah, no doubt. So they caught us off guard with that. If they complete that, that's a big advantage for them. So getting after us on the edge. So a lot of stuff that we can clean up to get better as we move forward. But pull out a win. We get a penalty on this for blocking the back.
There.
Yeah, that was right at the half. If we sealed the deal on that, we could do some damage.
Drop snap for a touchdown.
Drop snap. Again, Deloach to Deloach. They do a good job, man. They've probably been throwing passes to each other for years and years.
Yeah.
So
pretty good coverage there.
Yeah. Devontae does a good job just finding space, keeping his feet moving. For him to get out of that was pretty good. They had him
a strong quarterback.
Right.
And Fayetteville gets on the board here very late. And, one thing about Coach John Limbaugh's team, they never quit.
Right, yeah, they play hard. They play to the end, and, man, they do a good job of getting the most out of their kids and keeping it exciting for sure.
Yeah.
So.
30-7, B.B. Comer over Fayetteville. A region win for you guys, and region games for the next couple of weeks. A very, very important time for the B.B. Comer Tiger team.
Right. So, technically we're locked in with 4 region wins. There's a lot going on below us in the region that can happen. We face a Vincent opponent that has gotten better every week. They've got some good athletes. Their season didn't start off well at all because they missed the first 2 or 3 games because of COVID. So, right out of the gate, they're 0-3. And their back's against the wall. I talked to Coach Weatherford quite a bit, and their back's against the wall because they're in a must-win situation. They've got to win out region play to have a chance at the playoffs. And to me, they're one of the better teams in the region. So they've got size, they've got speed, and they've improved. Like I said, from the first week that they've gotten to play until now, they've improved every week.
You talked about after the Fayetteville game, B.B. Comer has got to improve.
Yes. Yeah,
got to get better.
Right. There's things that we've got to get better at. We do a good job running the ball. We do a good job getting movement offensively. We've got to be able to expand our playbook some. We've got to find our passing game, and we've had a good week of practice to work on that. But we've got to be able to throw the ball. Devontae threw for over 1,000 yards.
Did we complete a pass Friday night?
On the two-point conversion.
Okay, I looked back at it and I said, I don't know if we did or not.
Yeah, just on the 2-point conversion. So, and the weather, we had worked on the passing game last week, but the weather had had a lot to do with that. But we've got to be able to throw the ball when we need to, and that's something that we know and we've worked on, and it's a confidence thing, building Devontae's confidence up, working with those receivers and timing and things like that, and we honestly miss. Last year we had Julius McCain, who was on that single receiver side, and he demanded that respect because he'd go up and get a ball at any point in time. And we're missing a big guy on that side. We have guys that do a good job, but they don't demand that respect from defenses. So we've got to earn that respect from defenses, and we've got to do a better job in throwing the ball and first of all protecting, throwing the ball, and then catching the ball. So and that's, again, we're working on it.
Special teams created points for you early in the game last week.
Yes, yeah, no doubt. So 2 weeks in a row we get a block punt for a touchdown, which is huge. I like getting points in other ways. So special teams points. 2 weeks ago I said, hey, we don't have a special teams touchdown, and they go out and get one. And didn't even mention it before the game this week. Before the game this week, it was more of, hey, watch for fakes and things like that. So to get the points early, that set the tone. And with the weather, not knowing what it was going to be, I thought early points were going to be very important. Based on what I thought was going to happen weather-wise, I thought we were going to be dry the first half, and it was going to rain like crazy the second half. So I thought, man, we've got to get points in the first half when it's a drier field.
No doubt about it. Defensively, B.B. Comer gives just up a late score, which is pretty good for a defense.
Yeah, no doubt. Defensively, we're playing well. We're very much bend, don't break. Our Achilles heel in defense is giving up the big play. 3rd and long. I think we gave up 3 or 4 3rd and longs against Fayetteville, and we've got to get off the field. 3 and out and get off the field. So that's something that we've worked on as a staff and as a team, is not giving up the big play. So this week you've got kind of you've got a lot that you've got to prepare for, because the McGregor kid, their tailback is he's lightning fast. I mean, he's I think he's a 2A state champion in 100 meters. So he can fly. I've seen him run at track meets. So you've got to worry about that. And then they have some receivers that do a good job running routes and getting open. So a lot of respect to them. They go to Vincent goes to Randolph County last week and puts up 38 points. So I think that's the most points Randolph County's given up in a while. So they're offensively, they're going to have some power. They're going to have some things up their sleeve that they do well. So defensively, we're going to have to show up and keep getting after it. I've been very pleased with how we've progressed defensively, and just we look at the progression of the team in 3 years' time. Our physicality has come a long ways, and that's something that I've always wanted in a team, and I've always kind of prided myself on, is we're going to be physical. At the end of the night, they're going to know that we were there. So that's important to me, and it also, it's a big factor in ball games and winning ball games.
You may be getting a couple of guys that have been nicked up and battered a little bit back in a week or two as well.
Yeah, I'm hoping to hear good news from our center and get Brandon Blankenship back. He's been doing therapy and rehabbing that foot and ankle, and would love to get him back. Especially, I know I'm not going to have him this week. Love to have him back next week to prep for Randolph County and to move forward.
Vincent is a game that you mentioned they put up 38 points against the #1 ranked team, Randolph County, and we know how good they are. But you can't get lost with this Vincent team, because you said they can score in a hurry.
Yes, yeah, they can score quickly, and they can score at will. One thing they do a good job of is once they find a weakness, they're going to expose it until you fix it. And if you don't fix it, then they're going to keep exposing it. So they do a good job. I'm impressed with how well they've overcome. They've missed games. They had Lynette, Randolph County back to back, and got beat in both of those games. But in watching film, they're always getting after it. They're not quitting. They're not laying down. They're getting after it, and they're trying. The effort's there. And watching the Randolph County film, those guys believed, hey, we can hang with these guys, and we can beat these guys. And you know, to face Randolph County is tough. To face them at Randolph County is even tougher. So they did a good job going on the road and getting after it with the #1 team in the state.
There's much to be said. And B.B. Comer is a prime example of it. Believing that you can win. Believe that you can play with these guys.
No doubt. That's half the battle, is believing that you can win, believing that you can compete and go out there and make it happen. So confidence is key, and you know, we have a lot of confidence, especially after the past couple of weeks. We have a lot of confidence, and I think that the reality checks along the way. Horseshoe Bend was a reality check for us. You know, hey, we can't just show up and people bow down to us. You know, 2 years ago we played 5 or 6 homecomings, and now, hey, we're starting to garner some respect.
Y'all were that team
right
3 years ago.
Right, yeah, no doubt. So, but we're starting to garner that respect, and we're starting to gain that. But nobody's just going to show up and lay down because, you know, hey, we're playing B.B. Comer. Yeah. So, but it goes back to that. That goes back to that physicality. You know, when you show up, you give everything you got. You play physical, you play hard, and then they'll know who they played on Saturday morning.
Talk a little bit about you know, you got other football programs at B.B. Comer. You got one participating in a county championship next week, I think.
Yes. So our JV football program will play Fayetteville next week at Fayetteville at 6 o'clock next Tuesday. Those guys, they're a lot of fun. You know?
Keep an eye on them.
Yes, yeah, we're always there. You know, home games we're definitely there. Some of the road games we can't go on just because we've got varsity practice and things going on. But you know, our JV, it's our young guys and our young coaches are the ones that are running all that as the young coaches. So it's fun to just go. But I go and stand back and just watch. You know, Coach Strickland, Coach Safford do a great job with those guys. And
you take mental notes at those games?
Yes, yeah. I'm constantly watching those young guys and say, you know, this guy can help us. You know, this guy's going to be pretty good. Or, you know, hey, we got to get these 4 guys, we got to get them in the weight room, so forth and so on. So, but it's exciting to watch them, and it's a reward for those guys, you know, to come out and we practice together, we practice as a group, and you know, it's a reward to be able to get these games in, and it's also it's a bragging right for them to you know, have this season and then get to this championship game. So
what are the ages, the youngest age you think, or youngest grade for?
We have 7th through 9th grade.
Okay.
So we play a JV schedule, and you know, that with the smaller schools like us in Fayetteville, it's tough to. You can't just play a junior high 7th and 8th. So this year we would have had probably 15 more 7th and 8th grade kids if we didn't have the pandemic. But we lost probably 15 kids because of this and their parents not allowing them to play and stuff like that. And I understand, you know, but it's like we literally dress about 16 kids.
Okay. Before we go this morning, Coach Saban was positive test on COVID-19 yesterday, as well as the athletic director. How do you do testing, and how often is testing done at B.B. Comer, or how does that work?
We don't have a testing policy, so okay. At the high school level, there's no testing in place. It's all about the symptoms or the not feeling well and things like that. So
I mean, you gotta hold your breath every moment on something like that.
No doubt, and it's you know, a lot of it's on us. A lot of us is reminding the kids and spraying the stuff down on a daily basis.
And it's okay as long as you got them together in that umbrella deal.
Right. So, like, you know, I'm not worried about our guys when we're together. That's our bubble. You know, it's when they're away from us. It's when they're, you know, out to see family, or they're going to get something to eat, or whatever the case may be. So, you know, when you see Division I programs like in Alabama, where you know, and a Nick Saban who tests positive, when you see that, and you know, hey, these universities have endless resources and medical doctors and everything right at their fingertips, you feel like, hey, this may start rolling downhill, and that's a concern. We're getting towards the end of the season. Some teams are getting ready to move on to playoff football, and what's that going to look like? It would be bad to work all this season, make the playoffs, and then all of a sudden first round have a case and not be able to play. So.
And you just can't turn around and go back.
Right, yeah, you can't. The state HSA has to keep a calendar of events and things like that. It's we can't just shut down high school sports for 3 weeks because somebody from whatever high school got a case. So it's tough. Like the decision makers and from the top down, it's a tough situation, and. We're doing everything we can on our end to keep our stuff sanitized and keep our pads clean and our weight equipment clean and things like that. So it's a whole different world from what we're used to.
Well, I'm told that's why you make the big bucks.
Is that what it is? Right.
Good luck against Vincent. Friday night kicks at 7 o'clock over in Vincent, Alabama. Coach Adam Fossett, the head football coach of the B.B. Comer Tigers. Big win last week over Fayetteville, and you got Vincent and then Randolph County coming to town as well. So we'll talk about the Vincent game next week. Coach, have a great weekend.
Thank you.
More Daybreak just ahead.